The Donner Party. Pioneers, heading west for a new life in California, faced a disturbing dilemma. But what led them to the point of cannibalism, and where did their journey go so wrong? Let's find out why, on Eyewitness History. Spring 1846. A group of pioneers, over a dozen families, set out from Springfield, Illinois. They were bound for California, driven by dreams of a new life in the West. Leading them were George Donner, a seasoned farmer with a heart full of hope, and James Reed, a businessman with ambition burning in his eyes. They had no idea what lay ahead. The journey began with optimism. Their wagons rolled westward, crossing the Mississippi River, winding through the fertile plains of Missouri. Spirits were high. The Reeds, the Donners, the Breens, the Murphys. They were families chasing the promise of prosperity in the faraway lands of California. But even at the outset, there were whispers of danger. The pioneers knew that the Sierra Nevada mountains, the final barrier to California, could be treacherous if crossed too late in the year, yet they pressed on, confident they could beat the winter snows. By late June, they reached Fort Laramie in what is now Wyoming. Here they received a letter from Lansford Hastings, a promoter of the new Hastings Cutoff, a supposed shortcut through the Wasatch Mountains and the Great Salt Lake Desert. Hastings claimed it would save them weeks of travel. James Reed was intrigued. His ambition whispered in his ear, "This could be our edge." But others were wary. A seasoned frontiersman, James Clyman, warned Reed against the Hastings Cutoff. "I tell you," Clyman said, his voice low and serious, "it's not a route for wagons. Turn back to the regular trail. Don't take the shortcut." But Reed's mind was made up. "We'll make it," he assured his fellow travellers. George Donner, trusting Reed's judgment, agreed. The die was cast. In late July, the Donner Party broke off from the main wagon train to take Hastings' shortcut. The first challenge was the Wasatch Mountains. The terrain was brutal, steep, rocky. Wagons had to be dismantled and hauled piece by piece. Days turned into weeks. Tempers flared. Margaret Reed, James's wife, began to worry. "James, this is madness," she pleaded one night as they struggled through the dense, unforgiving brush. Reed, his face lined with exhaustion but determined, replied, "It's too late to turn back now. We must push on." By the time they emerged from the Wasatch, it was late August. The Hastings Cutoff had already cost them dearly in time and supplies, but the worst was yet to come. Next, they faced the Great Salt Lake Desert, a seemingly endless expanse of blinding white salt flats. It was supposed to take just 2 days to cross. It took 6. The scorching heat killed their oxen. Water ran out. Wagons too heavy to be dragged further were abandoned. Desperation set in. As they staggered out of the desert, gaunt and thirsty, it was already mid-September. The Sierra Nevada loomed ahead, a formidable wall of granite and pine. They were running out of time. By early October, the Donner Party reached Truckee Lake, now known as Donner Lake. Here the weather turned against them. A heavy snowstorm, early and unrelenting, blocked their passage through the mountains. They were trapped. The snow piled higher and higher, sealing their fate. The pioneers made camp, splitting into 2 groups, one led by the Donners, the other by the Reeds. They built makeshift shelters and slaughtered their remaining livestock. But it wasn't enough. Weeks passed, the snow didn't stop, food supplies dwindled, starvation loomed, the horror began to unfold. On December 16th, a group of 15 set out on foot to find help. They became known as the Forlorn Hope. The journey through the snow was a nightmare. After days of wandering, freezing, and starving, they made a grim decision. To survive, they would have to eat the dead. The survivors finally stumbled into a Native American village in California. Their story sent shockwaves through the region. Rescue parties were dispatched, but the journey back was brutal. The rescuers faced the same treacherous conditions that had trapped the Donner Party. Back at Donner Lake, the situation grew desperate. George Donner, his hand infected from a wound, grew weaker by the day. His wife Tamsin refused to leave his side, even as rescue parties arrived. "Go with the others," George urged her. "Save yourself." But Tamsin stayed. She died beside her husband in the icy wilderness. By the time the last rescue party reached Donner Lake in April 1847, only 48 of the original 87 had survived. The story of the Donner Party shocked the nation. It was a tale of ambition turned to tragedy, of human endurance pushed to its limits. The Hastings Cutoff, the fateful decision that promised to save them time, had instead sealed their doom. The survivors carried the scars of that winter for the rest of their lives. The Reeds, though forever haunted by what they endured, eventually settled in California, where they tried to rebuild the life they had once dreamed of. But the memory of the mountains, the snow, the starvation, the choices they had to make never left them. The story of the Donner Party is not just a story of disaster. It's a story of the human spirit, of the thin line between civilization and savagery, and of the perilous gamble that is the pursuit of the American dream. It's a story that reminds us all of the unforgiving nature of the frontier, where every decision could mean the difference between life and death. In the end, the Donner Party's journey is a stark reminder of the price that can be paid for ambition and the harsh realities that await those who dare to dream too big in an unforgiving world. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more historical videos like this, then please subscribe.